You ready to go?
Mhm.
Are you ready though?
I mean, I guess
That's the thing. We'll just roll with it.
yeah.
All right. Welcome to the Andy and Mitch show. My name is Andy Olsom. I'm joined by my partner in crime, the one and only Mitch Stangle. Welcome to episode 001. It's kind of ambitious putting two zeros in front of
Yeah, it
the
is.
one, kind of assuming that we'll make it to triple digits after the
Yeah,
first
you're
one.
you're assuming that people are gonna want to listen to us past 100 episodes.
Yeah, you're right. It may be too ambitious, but you got to start somewhere.
That's like
Anyways,
that's like 5 straight days of just us talking.
that's too many days, probably, actually. Anyways, this is the Andy and Mitch show. This is where we talk to you about sports because everyone's doing it, and someone's got to tell you something about sports. This is the very first episode, like we said, and you could probably tell by the episode title having episode number 001 in it. But, anyways, this show we wanted to bring to you because we like talking about sports, and hopefully you guys want to listen to us. I assume this is
Hopefully.
hopefully I assume this is made mostly of our friends and our peers, but I'm okay with that. Right, Mitch? You okay with that?
I hope that Kristaps Porzingis listens to this. I think that if Kristaps Porzingis listens to this, then we made it.
That is a worthwhile goal, I think. So
Yeah.
eventually, we're gonna get Kristaps Porzingis to join us.
Yeah.
Speaking of joining us, for this episode, it's gonna be just us right now, just the two of us, just straight plain Jane in it, Mitch and Andy. But eventually, in future episodes, we'll probably bring guests on, not anyone famous, probably just mostly our friends.
Or
Uh,
Kristaps
or
Porzingis.
Kristaps Porzingis. If we can bring Kristaps Porzingis onto this, that'd be great.
That'd be
Um,
cool.
so just a little bit about us. We both go to Illinois State University. As you can see right now, we're not at Illinois State University
No.
or in the same place. We're in two different places right now. Now we're both now sophomores, aren't we? It's the summer.
I'm
Can-
technically a junior, but we'll get past that.
we won't even discuss that because Mitch is an overachiever. We both work for the WZND radio station at Illinois State
Mm-hmm.
University. I
Reppin'.
Yeah, I am a broadcast journalism major. Mitch, you are a communications education.
Education. Yes, I want
Yeah,
to teach the communications.
com ed. I hope your
Yes.
students find this one day and find a
I,
way to use this against you for
oh,
like
they're going
grades.
to.
All right.
You know what they're gonna be like? They're gonna be like, "Who's Kristaps Porzingis?"
Well, I thought that's what would be the case eventually, but Kristaps he is really just like he's just come up in his first year. I expected nothing from him,
Yeah,
being from Latvia, right?
yeah, yeah. He's from
He
Latvia.
is from Latvia. I wasn't sure. That actually leads us perfectly into the next topic, which is us discussing our allegiances. I felt that
Hmm.
was a good thing to bring up in the first episode, so that you, the
Absolutely.
viewer, and or the listener, knows exactly where we stand on things, so that when you call us out for being bad and being too biased, you know
Yeah,
actually
you
what you're
know
talking
exactly where that's
about.
coming from.
Oh yeah. Um, so you bring up basketball and me almost not getting where Kristaps Porzingis. I almost didn't know where he was from. That's because I'm a Bulls fan. You know, we're both from the Chicago area. I love the Bulls, but NBA is just not my thing. Mitch, on the other hand,
It's my only thing.
yeah, he was concerned about talking too much about basketball
Yeah,
before this,
I
which
really was.
I didn't care about at all. Talk as much as you want, Mitch, about
Yeah,
basketball. The
but
more you talk, the
yeah,
better.
yeah. Well, we're both Chicago boys,
Mhm.
born and raised around here. So like all of our Chicago teams, Cubs, Bears, Blackhawks. I mean, we'll talk about the White Sox, but
Oh
they're
yeah,
pretty much a disaster right now.
oh yeah.
Um,
The thing is, you're not Bulls though.
I'm not Bulls
Mm,
actually.
yeah.
You guys are literally all gonna hate me, but I am a Golden State Warriors fan, and I feel like
Boo.
I feel like I have to validate myself.
You do have
Like
to validate yourself.
I
Please
feel
validate that.
like I've liked them since 2010, 2011, back in the Monte Ellis, David Lee, Steph Curry, Darrell Wright,
And
uh, Biedrins days.
and it's
Uh,
because your uncle works in San Francisco, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
See, that's like a reasonable thing. That's a reasonable
Yeah,
reason to like the Warriors.
yeah,
I mean that's
yeah,
okay. I mean
yeah,
I like the Bulls and they're falling apart right now.
You're right. Yeah, you're correct. But we'll get to that in a little
Yeah, I
bit.
mean, basketball is just, it's not my thing really. There's too much scoring. The
What is
NBA
your
is
thing,
just
Andy?
falling apart. My thing is baseball. I have loved baseball for my entire life. I have been playing baseball since I was 3, and I am a hardcore Chicago Cubs fan. I
The
remember
biggest.
the biggest. I remember the first season I started watching the Cubs was in 2007, and I remember watching the very first game in April with my grandma. She was the one that turned it on. I'd always been a Cubs fan, but I wasn't serious about sports until about that time in my life. I was about 11. That's when I started seriously watching the Cubs. So that's reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, so they made the playoffs my first year, made the playoffs my second year, and then have just been abysmal
Was
ever
that
since.
was that part of the Milton Bradley era?
That was part of the Milton Bradley era, the best era in Chicago sports. That's just my opinion, though. Oh, excuse me for the burp. Anyways, the Cubs are doing great right now, and we'll actually get to that later.
Yes.
But yeah, hockey. I mean, we both can enjoy some hockey being Blackhawks fans,
Yeah.
but unless it's playoff hockey, I don't get into it. It's not that I don't care, and it's not that I don't like hockey. It's just I never find time to watch hockey because there's always something else going on. Because
You're right.
they start at the end of October, and that's like prime football season.
Yeah, in
And
the
then
end of baseball season.
yeah, and then it goes through hockey all the way through, and then Super Bowl in February, and then almost immediately after the Super
Yeah.
Bowl is when baseball picks back up. So I just go right back into baseball. So it's not my fault that I don't watch the Blackhawks as much as I should.
We will
Uh,
still accept your views, though, hockey
oh yeah,
fans.
you can tell us
Please.
how wrong we are
How
about
bad we
hockey.
are, yeah.
And then football. Both Bears fans, I think.
Yes.
You're wearing your
Yes.
Tim Tebow jersey right now.
Yes.
For the viewers that, or for the viewers, for the people who are listening, Mitch is currently wearing his Tim Tebow jersey, and I am wearing my Brooklyn Dodgers hat.
Oh,
One of the hats I am most proud of. I'll probably wear a different hat every time we do this. I have that many hats. We'll probably start getting to dangerous territory around 10 and 11. We'll have to start repeating. But for the first couple, I'll wear a different hat every time. I don't care.
oh
Um,
yeah.
and then English soccer.
Oof.
Um, I can't really say Premier League anymore.
No, you
Uh,
cannot. No, you
I
cannot.
I can say English soccer. I am a fan of Aston Villa, and there's really no good reason behind that, besides the fact that in 2014 I started watching soccer because of the World Cup. I finally found interest in it, and then when I wanted to find an EPL team, the Chicago sports writer that I very much enjoyed was tweeting about Aston Villa. I started playing as them in FIFA, and then I got sucked into the travesty that is Aston Villa.
Oh, they're in the second tier of English football. How do you feel about that?
I feel sad.
Yeah, I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Go Spurs, go team. Um, they're in the playoffs this year, so
Yeah,
that's good.
that's as much as
Yeah,
we'll talk about soccer probably.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
The Copa America Cup, or the final, is coming up. Chile,
Argentina,
Argentina.
Chile. I think Argentina's gonna whip them. I really do. I think that Argentina's top three teams in the world.
I'll probably watch that.
I'll probably watch it too.
I think it'd be a good game.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
there's not a lot to say with our allegiances. We went over college. We went over other teams that we like,
Yeah,
professional teams. I
yeah,
think it's about to get into the hard hitting news, why you guys are here, the
yes,
headlines, the discussion, the debate, the Skip
yes.
Bayless, Stephen A. Smith type of debate. Who do you think you are between us?
I'm probably Skip Bayless. I
Yeah,
got a
I'm gonna.
feeling that people are gonna hate me.
I was gonna say I was Stephen A. Smith because I found out recently that I am 1/16th African American.
Wow.
This is a weird spot to drop that on you,
Yeah.
but it's true.
I did not know
My
that.
great grandma.
Wow.
Yeah. See, you're
That's
shocked. You're
stunning. That's
speechless.
stunning.
I know. So I'm Stephen A. Smith. I think that's what we decided.
All right, shall we get right into it?
Yeah, I'm okay with
So,
it.
in
Mhm.
case you've been living under a rock, the past week, the Cavaliers did beat my beloved 73-9 best regular season team to ever play the game, Warriors. They came back from 3-1 and
First time ever anyone's
ever,
ever come down 3-1.
ever. And I mean, they did something that's never been done before against a team that has never put up numbers that have been done before. And I would say that it's easily the biggest upset in NBA history. But
I
I would put it up towards the Giants beating out the Patriots in Super Bowl 42. Like
yeah, I think that's closer
that.
to what it is. Because
Yeah.
like there's no really other comparison in basketball for it. No one has ever come back down 3-1. No one has ever
Yeah.
won 73 games before. They're the only team to do it. I mean, and they lost the title.
That they lost. Yeah.
I mean, it's like the 2007 New England Patriots when they were the only team ever to go 16-0, and in the regular season, and then they lost the Super Bowl. One of the greatest games in Super Bowl history, by the way.
Oh, I remember.
Amazing.
I remember where I was for David Tyree's. That's his name, right? David Tyree. Yeah.
It was incredible.
His catch. Oh my God.
And the thing is with the finals, I have not watched the previous two really. I've watched a total of about 2 games and 2 minutes in the last 2 years. The only game I watched last year is when I was forced to, when I was at a friend's house. The only game I watched this year was when I was forced to at a friend's house. I went to Mitch's house for Game 5 so I can see him cry after the Warriors won.
They didn't win.
No, they did not, unfortunately.
Though, I've never seen a performance like LeBron James put up in that series.
Yeah, it was incredible. It's you had to respect how well he was playing because I was purposefully not watching the finals because I hate that ESPN and all of these other companies they go right to the NBA like there's a story with everything. And I got so sick of it that I'm just like I'm done watching this. But I had to tune in for the final 2 minutes of Game 7.
He literally willed his team to that championship.
And then Game 5, 41 points apiece for Kyrie and LeBron.
I think Draymond Green took the blame for that loss.
That was tough, being out a game.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't think that he lost the series. There were a lot of factors that went into it. Kyrie put on a show 3 games straight, but I think that the series altered when Draymond Green got suspended. I think the Warriors would have closed it out in Game 5 had he not gotten suspended. I really, really, honestly do.
I think that it's hard to say. Sorry, I'm messing with audio. You're gonna see us doing that a little bit. I'm the editor behind the scenes here, as well as one of the talkers. So I was just messing with audio there. It's hard to say because you don't know. I think they have a way better chance to win that game with Draymond. I mean, Colin Cowherd brought up a great point today that if Draymond is in that game, then Andrew Bogut doesn't get hurt because Andrew Bogut's not playing that much. Andrew Bogut won't be in the game at that point. So that would have drastically changed things if you had Draymond and Bogut for Game 6, Game 7.
You're right.
It's just it's unfortunate, and it goes back. He said this too. It goes back to was the regular season when Draymond would just commit silly fouls and blowout losses.
He's been doing that all year, and
which made him a target for the NBA.
Which is true, yeah.
To give him that punishment, and I mean, it just shows. I keep talking like Colin Cowherd, but it just shows that you need to be on top of your game just every single time, even if you're losing. You need to act like a professional in that aspect, and he just wasn't. And I mean, hopefully he learns from this.
I think he does, but part of his heart and his drive comes from that raw, uncanny ability to just get under people's skin, and I think that he needs to keep that. Honestly, I don't think that he should change the way that he plays. I really, really don't.
Yeah, he shouldn't change the way that he plays, but he should be able to rein it in a little bit with the whole getting suspended thing,
I guess.
because
Yeah.
he needs to rein it into the fact or into the point where he won't get suspended.
Yeah.
That's my thing that he should look at. Like play like on the edge, like on the edge of dirty. Just don't play dirty like he
Yeah,
was in
I agree.
those.
Well, that is the past. Let's talk about news that just broke yesterday. Derrick Rose traded to
Ooh,
the New York Knicks
that's right, Derrick Rose.
for a decent player, trash, and Hispanic trash.
Wait, hold on. Who
What?
who is the good player and who's the trash player?
Jarian Grant is the good player in that trade,
All
and I'll
right.
tell you why. The Bulls wanted to draft him, but New York took them three picks before.
I wanted to draft Jerry and Grant. I remember
Yeah.
last year's March Madness. I was all in on Notre Dame. Like I had them winning the whole thing, and they almost beat Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that if they beat Kentucky, that they would have had a good chance to win the whole thing. And it's only because on I don't want to say every single team, but
Yeah.
on a lot of championship teams in March Madness, there is always one player that steps up his game just a little bit more during March Madness,
hmm
and that's the reason that his team won. Just Kemba Walker in 2010, was it?
Yeah,
Connecticut.
I believe so.
That's what I was thinking for Jerry and Grant. I thought he was going to be that for Notre Dame. He wasn't. He was close. He was doing
Yeah.
really well, but I had like a player crush on him, as we all get with players.
Yeah.
I loved him, so I wanted the
Yeah.
Bulls to draft him. Clearly,
But
that
then
didn't happen, but
yeah, they got him.
they got him now. Unfortunately, we had to lose Derrick Rose, which
You
is
know,
bittersweet.
it's very bittersweet. I was shocked when I heard about it, not because like he got traded. We all knew that was going to happen. They were going to part ways with him, but like it's just bittersweet as a Chicago fan because Derrick Rose changed the dynamic of Chicago.
Oh yeah.
When he got drafted and when he won MVP in 2011, I mean, people were comparing this guy to Michael Jordan in the way that he revitalized Chicago. The trade needed to happen. Is he worth more than Jarian Grant, Robin Lopez, and Jose Calderon?
Ugh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not a fan of Robin Lopez or Jose Calderon, but I'm really happy we got Jerry and Grant.
I am, but it's just it's a bittersweet in Chicago. Bittersweet day.
I don't know if Grant is going to develop into anything, but
I
just having him and having that hope is good enough
Yeah.
for me. I really enjoyed that. And what's so bittersweet about this is that he was a Chicago boy too. He was from Chicago.
He was supposed to bring the title.
I
He
know.
was.
We all wanted to root for him. We wanted
Yeah.
him to be the savior, and he was the savior so many times. He never finished it. I've seen so many replays of that shot in last year's playoffs against the Cavs. Oh,
Mhm.
I remember where I was for that shot.
So do I. I was working. Yeah.
I was listening to it on the radio as I was pulling into a Culver's parking lot, and my friends and I, we had one of those like car trains. Like, oh, we are at one place. Everyone needs to drive to the Culver's now.
Yeah.
We're in that train of cars, and I remember I was in the parking lot getting ready to park as he hit the shot, and then as I was pulling in, he hits the shot on the radio, and me and my friend in front of me, we're both listening to ESPN 1000, like vividly listening to this. And as he parked before me, I was going to go park next to him. He whips open his door because he's so excited that Derrick Rose hit the shot, and I almost hit him with my car as I was coming in to pull up next to him. But I didn't know what to do because I was so excited too. So I almost hit him. I like kind of moved past that. I parked. I rolled down my window and I got out the window and I was just cheering, and people were like jumping up and down in the back of my truck, all going on in the Culver's parking lot.
Yeah.
And that moment was so crazy, and he brought us to so many crazy moments like that. And
So,
when he won MVP too.
Yeah.
But it just all of the pain that he brought as well with being hurt. I saw a stat like he only played 39% of the games from 2012 to 2013.
Yeah, and was he a liability? Possibly. We don't know how his production is going to be next year with him healthy, or what even is healthy for Derrick Rose now.
He will never be the same caliber.
We don't know. Has his mentality changed? Absolutely. Like since his MVP days, I feel like he's just in it for the money, but this kind of leaves, on a sort of a bright side note to this kind of leaves a little bit of cap room for the Bulls where they
You're
can
right.
go and they can go and get, Bismack Biyombo, or they can go and try and sign Rondo if they, want to go that route, or even try and make a huge signing in Dwight Howard.
Yeah, and we can't get the money back that we
No.
already gave to him for all those years being hurt. But now at least we have money to work with. And I don't want to say I'm surprised, but I was just kind of taken off guard that it was Derrick Rose and not Jimmy Butler, because all of the rumors, and you're still hearing rumors about Butler, that it's going to be him. I mean, imagine that Bulls team without Rose or Butler. It's like, what happened to this team? I miss Tibbs' team, man.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The winner, if Jimmy Butler gets traded, the winner of all the trades in the offseason is Tom Thibodeau, because, man, he has a sweet gig up in Minnesota, man. He would have been in charge of this, essentially washed up team. Am I glad that they got rid of him? I still think it's a bad decision.
Oh,
but
me too.
He has got such a good opportunity in Minnesota.
Minnesota looks like an amazing team. I mean, you got Wiggins, you got Towns, you still got Pekovic. He could play in the starting lineup at like a power forward.
Yeah.
Instead of like the center role.
Yeah.
But
I think that the Timberwolves might even take a power forward in the draft. We'll see. We can talk about that in a little bit.
We're coming up on that. We didn't mention what we have coming up yet, but we got some NHL talk with Las Vegas coming up. We've got NBA draft talk, and we've even got our favorite man in all of Chicago right now. We've got some James Shields talk coming up soon. I'm excited for that. But with Derrick Rose, it's just everyone is hurt. Everyone is so hurt right now for such an. I don't think you'll ever see in any other city a city so hurt over an average player. Because that's what he is right now. He's an average player.
You're right.
But everyone in Chicago is just heartbroken over him, and I understand that. I'm heartbroken too. Mm-hmm. This Bulls team next year may not even have Joakim Noah.
They're not going to. I've heard that he wants to go up to Minnesota and join Tibbs up there. Because you have to remember, when he won Defensive Player of the Year, Tibbs was his coach.
Good for him. He should, because I love Tom Thibodeau as a coach.
I agree.
Everyone, as soon as the Bulls brought in Fred Hoiberg, everyone was like, we're going to be amazing now. We have an offensive-minded coach. They didn't realize that the Bulls are not an offensive-minded team. They were built around Tom Thibodeau. No, they never have been. They've always been built around defense, and that's what Tom Thibodeau did. He built this team around defense, and now people expected Fred Hoiberg to come in here after 1 year and just turn this contender, or close to finals contender, into like a finals caliber team, and that just was not going to happen.
So many people think like Michael Jordan was so good, all the flashy dunks. People don't remember that he won Defensive Player of the Year. This team had Scottie Pippen. This team has always been about defense, and with Paxson and Foreman trying to change that up, I don't like it. I really, really don't.
Yeah, well, it's tough. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think they got to get rid of the GM. I
think so as well. I think Paxson and Foreman got to go, honestly.
Exactly. It's like with the Chicago Cubs in 07 and 08. They built a great team under Jim Hendry, but Jim Hendry, I don't know what happened to him in those final couple of years, but he just could not he could not rein in this team, and it was just time for him to move on. He's an above average general manager, but it was just his time.
Yeah, and that's what sometimes you need. I think Derrick Rose will do great in New York. I really, really do. I think that he'll probably put up, 15 and 10, and I think that the Knicks could be a playoff team, especially if they land someone like Biyombo, Whiteside, or even Dwight Howard. I think they would definitely be a playoff team. I'm going
to say fringe playoff team, but you can keep going with your playoff team right there. You can keep going.
Well, I think we should talk about the other trade that happened today.
Yeah.
Jeff Teague traded to the Pacers, George Hill to the Jazz, and the Jazz give the Hawks the number 12 pick. And I only like this trade for one team, and that is the Hawks, actually, who didn't even get a player out of it. Jeff Teague played all of the 2015-2016 season with a torn patellar tendon.
Okay. That's bad. But is that on Jeff Teague or is that on the team for allowing him to play through that?
Well, I'm saying we don't know whether he's going to be as good as he once was, because he was
You're
an
right.
all-star last year.
Yeah.
Not
Is
not last year, but like 2 years ago.
that the same injury that Joel Embiid has right now?
I'm actually not sure.
I should have researched that before bringing it up, but
Yeah,
it's all bad if you have an injury and you played through it all year.
that
Don't
you
do
know,
that because
yeah,
you're just
and
gonna make it worse. And I mean, speaking of the trade, I don't know who really got the best out of this because when you think about draft picks this year, you got your one. We're gonna talk about this later, but you got the
yeah,
one, you got the two for sure. Everyone else besides that, uh, Ben
yeah.
Simmons is the only one in this draft who looks like a for sure number one, can lead your team through the playoffs, LeBron type, Kobe type,
Hmm.
Kevin Garnett type, something like that. He's the only one that looks like that. Brandon Ingram at best can be like your number two on that team, like a Kyrie kind of
Yeah,
spot. But
maybe.
Ingram can't be a one.
Um, I guess the reason that I say that the Hawks won this trade is just they are already shopping the number 12 pick.
That's good for them actually because
You know,
I'm on the side that this draft is not very deep and that you should probably either move up to the one or the two spot or you should
yeah,
just give your picks and get players
and
instead
I
or
think
future picks.
The Jazz are all right. George Hill's not as fast as he used to be, and that's really what made him prominent in the league. His finishing at the rim. He has a little bit of an outside shot, but he's getting old. I think he's like 31, 32 years old, and so I think that he's getting a little old. But if you're the Hawks, you're about to lose Al Horford and Kent Bazemore.
Yeah.
And Horford teams like the Lakers, the Knicks, even like the Wizards, they're all pursuing Horford. This just leaves a little bit more room where if you say, hey, we're going to go out and sign Chandler Parsons or Nicholas Batum, that might entice Horford to stay with Millsap and Schroeder in Atlanta, because they're
I think
still a
it's
good
Schroeder.
Schroeder.
Dennis
All right.
Schroeder.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what
you're
it
right, because
is.
he's German. So,
Yeah.
but I think that because they're still a good team with Schroeder at the point guard. I would say he's just as good as Jeff Teague is, and he's only 22 years old too.
Are they an Eastern Conference Finals team?
They're a top three team.
They're a top three in the Eastern
I would say that they're
Conference,
top three. I think if the Raptors keep DeRozan, then which they're not going to do.
It's a big
They're not
if.
going to do. They're not going to do.
Yeah.
But if they somehow keep DeRozan, then I think that they're number three. I would put them at number three if they get Horford, Bazemore, and either Parsons or Nicholas Batum, or even maybe like a Bradley Beal or something like that.
I am a big fan of the Boston Celtics out in the East.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got something cooking there. Let me tell you.
And if they get Jimmy Butler, oh man.
I still don't think that they're better than the Cavs, though. No way.
No one's better than the Cavs in the East. But we've gotten a little bit
Yeah.
off topic from
Yeah.
Derrick Rose, so we're going to move on to our next topic.
Yes.
Which is, will the NHL work in Vegas? We both talked about earlier how we're not the biggest hockey followers. But I have a lot of hot takes, a lot of strong opinions on this. I don't know, Mitch, do you want to lead us off on this?
The NHL does need to expand. They haven't expanded since 1997, the year I was born. But Las Vegas is not the place to expand.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't followed the expansion process,
Mm-hmm.
3 cities, I believe, put in a bid,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe only 2. Seattle was thinking about it, but
Quebec as well.
yeah,
Quebec City.
Quebec City and Las Vegas were the 2 that for sure put in bids. And the NHL announced yesterday that it is for sure that Las Vegas is leading a team 2017-2018 season, and they deferred the Quebec City bid, which was interesting to me. A league that is built and bred in Canada, choosing a southern city like Las Vegas over Quebec
Well,
City,
you
a
know,
classic city where you
yeah,
can't bring back like the Quebec Nordics per se. You've already
you know,
got that strong hockey history there. Why not tap into that a little bit?
Las Vegas is a tourist city. Las Vegas is not a fan base city.
Yeah.
I guess you can have players like people in the West rallying around this team, but it's still going to be about like a 3 hour drive to get to Las Vegas from, where people actually live.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, people live in Las Vegas, but
Not a lot though.
yeah,
Not enough for a fan base.
I was talking about this. I was arguing about this on Twitter with people we know, some of our friends, and they were comparing it to such a tourist destination as Chicago, LA, and New York, all successful hockey towns.
Yes.
I really rag on the southern hockey town, um, even though Los Angeles is a clear example that hockey can work in the South. You just need a ton of people there to
Yeah.
support you. Like you need a
Yes.
ton. Like you need Los Angeles sized to
Yes.
support a hockey team in the South. Whereas uh, cities like Vancouver in Canada can just support hockey like that. Edmonton, Calgary,
Mhm.
they can support hockey just on their own because they love hockey. But if you're in
Yeah.
the South, you need a lot of people to support hockey. And I mean,
Yeah.
they compared Las Vegas to those cities, but in reality, size-wise, Las Vegas is really comparable to Phoenix. And I have
Mhm.
been so tough on Phoenix. The Coyotes need to move
You're
out of
right.
Arizona as soon as possible because they are failing there. They're losing
Yeah.
money. The city that they're in, Glendale, that they just moved to a couple of years ago, wants out of their 20-year contract because the stadium and the city are losing money. That's just how bad the Coyotes are doing. And give that to a city who cares.
You know,
Give that to a Hartford. Give that to a Seattle. Give that to someone else, just not Phoenix, because Phoenix doesn't care.
and in this move to Las Vegas, it kind of shows that at the end of the day, the NHL is still a business.
Oh,
You know,
definitely.
overall, it's a league. It's for entertainment value, and it's to give people to something to look up to. But at the end of the day, it's a business, and that I think that's the main reason why the NHL picked Las Vegas over Quebec, because Quebec, you're gonna have fans that love hockey.
No doubt.
Las
No doubt.
Vegas, you have people that are going to see Britney Spears.
Oh, yeah. It's like that's what every league is turning into. It's turning into
Yeah,
a profit. We
yeah,
saw that with the NBA going towards ads on the uniforms, which is another
yeah,
hot take that I have discussed before.
yeah,
Uh, Clearly not on this show because this is episode one, but a topic that has really annoyed me. I hate
yeah,
ads on uniforms. But
yeah.
we're not going to get into that. It just shows that all of these leagues
It's a
are becoming
business.
more and more business
It's a
oriented, and
business.
it's like that because they want to move to Vegas. 24 months ago, you couldn't get a single league to say that they were considering Las Vegas for a franchise because of that. That tie to gambling, and everyone is against gambling. Ask Pete Rose. I mean, his life was ruined by gambling. You know, it's so weird to see this shift in what owners think after that. And it has to
Yeah,
do, I think it has to do a lot with, FanDuel,
yeah.
DraftKings. They're putting that spin on gambling and they're getting owners involved and they're getting a lot of important people involved in the gambling
Which is
for their
very dangerous. It's
it
a
is
very
it
dangerous business.
it's dangerous. I'm not for gambling, but I'm also like I don't know how big of an issue it's going to cause if a player
Yeah,
is gambling. I don't know if Pete
yeah,
Rose ever threw a game. We
yeah.
don't know that.
We
Clearly,
will never know
no,
that.
we'll never know that. But clearly, the MLB thought it was a big enough issue to ban him, and now they just said today it's Las Vegas is a viable spot for expansion in the future, and it's like how can you say that if you're not okay with gambling? It just it doesn't make any sense to me, and I think it's it's weird. It's sad. I just don't understand it.
Yeah,
Why they say one thing and then just switch it just like that? It's got to be the money in those daily fantasy gambling.
hmm
It's got to be because so many owners are involved with that.
yeah. And I guess let's take like a switch, a little switch. Patrick Kane won the NHL MVP award today, so congratulations to him. He
and
played
and
great
and
all season.
Artemi Panarin, the bread
Hmm.
man, winning Rookie of the Year,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Calder Trophy, which was nice.
Hmm.
Nice to see the Hawks win some
Yeah. Repping a
awards
little bit.
after losing in the first round, which was
Yeah.
sad.
After these. Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest, I was not as sad as probably other Chicago Blackhawks fans
Yes.
because I've gotten to this point with the Blackhawks. I've seen them win 3 times. I remember where I was for each one, and we've had so much success that sometimes I just think that I know a lot of people that like the Blackhawks, are in love with the
Hmm.
Blackhawks. Hockey's the number one thing.
Yeah.
I also don't like a lot of people, and those two things tend to intersect. And there's this one
They're
person.
synonymous with each other. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this. No, not synonymous. I'm just saying that they can coincide
Oh,
sometimes.
gotcha. Okay.
There is this one person. I've known them for years. Everyone that I know, everyone that knows me and knows them knows that I hate them. One of the biggest hockey fans of all time. Not all time, but just is in love with the Blackhawks. And just everything he talks about is hockey, hockey, hockey. And I mean, I'm in love with baseball. Anytime I try talking about baseball, he's like, oh, hockey players are the real athletes. And I'm like, what are you talking about? How can you be so in love with one sport to just shoot down all of your sports like that? So as soon as the final horn rang on Game 7 against the Blues, I wasn't so upset that St. Louis fans were happy because that can be annoying too. When you
Yeah.
got a rivalry like that, just it's the Blues.
Like they belong to
But
the same city as the Cardinals. So let's be right
yeah,
there.
well, of course I know. But it's like as soon as the horn rang, my first thought was like, I bet that person's really sad right now. And I'm okay with admitting that I was okay with that because that's how much I don't like this person. So that was my thought on the Blackhawks. So when they have success, I'm happy. When they don't have success,
It's okay.
I'm pretty happy too because I got that consolation prize.
Is your rant over? Are you good?
My rant's over. We can move on from the Blackhawks and the NHL now.
All right, the NBA draft is tonight. It's crazy to think that the NBA Finals ended Sunday, and then we're already talking about this draft. Ben Simmons has been confirmed as going number 1 to the Sixers. Brandon Ingram has been confirmed that if the Sixers take Simmons, then they will take Brandon Ingram. The Lakers will take Brandon Ingram.
I really like this too. It's not like the NFL draft where we have to wait for 4 months as soon as the season's over to just speculate about all this. Like we get this 4 days after the season is over.
See, but I would like it spaced out a little bit more.
Yeah, within the week is pretty short.
That's insane.
But the thing is, if the finals were done after 4 games, then we would have had like a week and a half.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be complaining.
Yeah.
But it's fine. All right, so Andy, give me your top 5.
This is so hard.
It is.
We already know the first 2, so that makes it easy.
3, 4, 5.
Simmons, Ingram, first 2 are easy. Celtics is where you get a little bit iffy because you don't know if they're going to trade it. You don't know if they can go. You don't know who they're going to take if they actually pick there, because this is a 2-person draft. I mean, that's what I was saying to you before. What I was saying earlier.
It is.
Simmons and Ingram are the only ones that are going to be driving forces with your team. You're going to get.
You could even argue that Simmons is the only.
He's the only.
Force.
He's the only number 1 out of anyone here. He's the only one that can be a LeBron, that can be your Kobe. He is the only one out of anyone in this draft. That's what I think. Because he just has that. We saw it in college.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he's the most similar to those guys. The true number 1s on your team, the one that can lead your team.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, like we said, Ingram
deserves to go too.
He definitely, he deserves to go too.
I think it's a great fit with LA. But after that,
yeah, I mean, him and Russell and LA will be good for years to come. I hate the Lakers, but those 2 guys are good together. The Celtics are so tough. If the Celtics pick, I will go with Buddy Hield. I think.
Okay, that's what I picked too. I think
I'm
that Buddy Hield from Oklahoma will go 3 if they don't trade it. And I think that it's honestly a great pick. He'd be a solid backup to Avery Bradley, or even start over Avery Bradley. Or if they trade Avery Bradley, then he can easily start. Andy, did you hear that he made 85 out of 100 threes at a Celtics practice?
No, I did not hear that.
Yes, he made 85 out of 100.
Holy crap, that's a B.
He's easily the best shooter in this draft,
Oh, of course.
without question, and that's why I
And
think he's got a little bit of Mamba in him. I think that's
the
that's
the
why I went with Kobe.
the fact
But
the fact that he did that with the Celtics, I mean,
85.
that's got to get Boston excited for a guy like him. I mean, I have a my GM in 2K where I picked Buddy Hield, and he's my starter on my championship team. So
And
I
2K's life,
oh,
so
clearly, that's just, I mean, it makes me like the guy in real life, and
yeah.
I'm gonna go back to Colin Cowherd because I watched that this morning, so that's where I'm thinking about a lot of this stuff. They say you can really tell a lot about a shooter by the way that he hits free throws in college, and he was a great free throw shooter
Fantastic
in college.
free throw shooter.
So I think
he's got great stroke.
I think he's gonna be a very quality player to have on your team.
I think that he could be a little bit of a Klay Thompson-esque, not as good of a shooter as Klay Thompson, but I think that he'll be able to drive to the basket a little bit better than Klay Thompson could. I wouldn't call him a liability on defense, but he's just average. He's average on defense. But that shooting, once I heard that, I was like, if the Celtics don't trade that, I really think that he will go 3. And then who do you have at 4? To the Phoenix Suns.
This is so hard.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard for me to watch college teams and just pick out players that the NBA might like.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to go with Chris Dunn to the Suns.
Chris Dunn to the Suns. They have Eric Bledsoe. Do you know who that is? Do you know who Brandon Knight is?
I know who those people are. But the Suns go through point guards like they're just freaking candy, First
imagine if they had Dragic.
They had Isaiah Thomas at one point.
And Isaiah Thomas. Well, they had Dragic, Isaiah Thomas, and Eric Bledsoe.
I know. So these guys just keep going through point guards. And if I'm correct, I don't remember them firing their general manager recently. He might fall back into that same trend of going for another point guard. And I really like Chris Dunn, so that's like the reason why I was going.
I'm picking Dragan Bender because that would be literally just such a Sunsy thing to do. To pick someone who's never played basketball in the USA and just hope that he pans out in the NBA. Yeah. And I definitely think that he could. I would honestly wouldn't be surprised if he went 3 either. Because the Celtics are in need of a power forward. I don't think that he will go 3, but if he does, he's got great talent. He's from Israel.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of like the Knicks last year when they picked Kristaps Porzingis. You never know. Not as good of a shooter as Kristaps Porzingis, but you never know how these guys out of these countries where they've never played basketball in the United States, we never know how these people are going to pan out. And I think that would just be like the typical Suns thing to do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I thought Kristaps Porzingis was going to be awful last year. We talked about it earlier. That would be an honor to have him watch this. Kristaps, you're the man. But it's funny whenever I see Bender, I see Bender from Futurama. I see Bender bending Rodriguez. But yeah, picking a foreign player, absolute Suns thing.
An absolute Suns thing.
That's absolutely a Suns thing to do.
They did well. Didn't they pick Devin Booker last year?
I really like Devin Booker.
I love Devin Booker. Ooh, love me some Devin Booker. He's a good-looking man too.
Probably because he's our age.
Yeah,
he is literally our age, which is tough for us, but
Yeah.
So is Simmons. Simmons is our age. It's that's unbelievable. We're getting to the point in our life where people our age are starting to do things, and I hate it. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Like, I remember when I was 16 and the Cubs signed like a 16-year-old out of Venezuela, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
My age?
Yeah.
Yeah, now
It's
we're getting
crazy.
old. All right,
Yeah.
so T-Wolves.
Yep. Who you got at 5?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm gonna go Bender.
You would go Bender at 5.
Bender. Those
I
top
think.
5, I think, are pretty solid choices for somehow fit into the top 5 in the NBA draft.
I think if I'm flawless in my previous predictions,
Okay, yeah.
I think that the T-Wolves are going to surprise everyone and take Marquise Chris out of Washington.
That would be surprising because
Um,
usually you see players from really big organizations that
well,
would
yeah.
make March Madness, but with Washington, I don't think anyone's ever seen the national broadcast with
You
Washington
know,
in it.
he's got arguably the biggest upside in the draft, and he's gotten so much hype, from his practices that he's had. And I think that the T-Wolves, I don't know, but I think that they might fall victim to the hype and take Marquise Chris. Because if they don't take him, he's going to either the Nuggets or the Kings. The Nuggets have said they're not going to pass up on him. And he would make a great fit in Denver. There's rumors saying that the T-Wolves might trade the 5 pick for Kenneth Faried.
Really, I've
Come
only heard of the
draft
Jimmy
night.
Butler.
No, they've also said if the Jimmy Butler
So
trade,
the Celtics and the T-Wolves are heavily shopping their picks. I'd be surprised if both of them pick at 3 and 5 tonight.
yeah, we'll see.
Both of them.
We'll see. Yeah.
I think at least one of them will make a trade.
I think Kenneth Faried would. That T-Wolves team. I just keep going back to it.
T-Wolves are looking good. I also want to make a note for whoever's watching this that I did misspell your in the lower third. I didn't put the apostrophe RE, and that's impossible to change at this point. So I'll probably make like an annotation or something. So don't make fun of me. I made these pretty fast. I made all of these graphics today. All right. I did a lot of things in the last minute. I'm gonna turn it off so you can't look at it anymore. It's gone. You can't see the misspell, the wrong word anymore. Whatever. I misspelled it. Listeners won't be able to know the difference.
But yeah, you think that they'll trade?
At least one of them, because you're hearing so much about the Celtics and the T-Wolves, and it's got to amount to something.
I don't think that the Bulls are gonna budge. I don't think that they'll give up Butler. I think that the T-Wolves will trade, though, and they will take pretty much anything, honestly, of value, because I don't think that they want to pick at 5. Like you said, there's only 2 for sures.
Yeah.
Absolutes.
It is it's a shallow.
It's a weak draft. It's very, very weak. Do I think that, I have Chris Dunn falling out of the top 5. Do I think that is going to happen? I think that there's a low % chance that's going to happen, that Chris Dunn out of Providence is going to fall out of the top 5.
I really like Chris Dunn, so that's why I'm so high on him. But if he falls, then good for the team that gets him.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
cookies.
We have gone on too far in this. We need to move on to our next topic, and possibly my favorite topic of the day.
It's my favorite too.
James Shields.
There's so many places that we could talk about and start with baseball.
Let's start with tonight. He is making his 4th start, I believe, with the White Sox tonight.
Yep.
And this all started. James Shields started the year with the San Diego Padres. Was traded a month ago. Not a month ago. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks.
He was traded to the White Sox for Eric Johnson, one of the top arms in the White Sox system, and another minor leaguer. He was traded 1 start after allowing 10 runs in 2 innings against the Seattle Mariners. And somehow the White Sox saw it as a great idea to trade for this man.
Yeah.
And add him to their rotation.
In case you didn't know, James Shields he has a 21.8 1 ERA with his new teammates on the south side of Chicago.
Oh my God! See, this is fun for us to talk about
I
because
love it. I
because
love it.
because we're Cubs fans. But any White Sox fan watching this, I mean, I've talked to a lot of White Sox fans about this. I'm like, so, what do you think about James Shields? And they put their hand in their heads. They're like, oh my God.
My uncle put on Facebook today. Can we give New York Ventura too with the Rose trade? I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Ventura either, but he's not even at fault for this.
No, yeah.
It sucks for him. It's not his fault that James Shields is just doing so bad.
He was an all-star on the Royals, right?
He was. He almost won the World Series with the Royals. He made it to the World Series.
Because he was on Tampa Bay and then he went to the Royals, right?
He was with Tampa Bay ton of his career. Joe Madden got traded to the Royals. Excuse me, I had to burp. For 2014, or maybe it was 14.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Off season, signed with the Padres, played 15 all year with the Padres. Started with the Padres this year, and then was traded to the White Sox. And the Padres kept a lot of his contract, but the White Sox are still paying him $9 million for the next 3 years. 3 years they're paying him to do this. And if I'm the White Sox, I am just bonkers right now, thinking about why we would trade for this guy if he was doing so bad. I mean, last year he was awful. He wasn't awful.
He wasn't awful last year.
He was bad last year. He was not worthy of being traded to a contending team.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing that well. And I think what is going on in the White Sox? What is the White Sox GM? Is that Rick Hahn?
I couldn't tell you.
We have computers.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you because I don't want to get that wrong.
But I mean,
it is Rick Hahn.
Right. He's 2-9 on the year, and literal trash.
It's gotten so bad that John Danks wasn't even doing this bad, and they DFA'd John Danks.
You're name dropping John Danks.
John Danks did not do this bad, and you guys DFA'd John Danks.
I saw this tweet. It was like, do the White Sox want to start James Shields or do they want to make the playoffs?
See, the thing is, even being a Cubs fan and being raised to hate the White Sox, I have extra incentive this year for hating them because I have a bet with our friend Frank, $20. I said the White Sox do not win over 80 games. I was nervous to begin the year.
But they were good.
They were good. I am looking more and more like a wealthier man each day that James Shields starts.
See, but the turmoil on the South Side happened long before James Shields came. Like, they were already on a downward spiral. But I think
the Adam LaRoche stuff in spring training.
I think that, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Sox fans. I don't know what to tell you.
That's pretty much all we can offer at this point.
Just our condolences.
There was no real reason to bring this up besides the fact that we enjoyed this story.
Yeah.
And that he starts tonight. That's pretty much it. We like to just bring it up because James Shields is funny to us.
Yes, but Andy Olsen, I'm going to ask you, what is your sleeper team to make the playoffs?
We're going to sleeper picks.
We're going to sleeper picks, yes.
They're not a sleeper team anymore because they're leading the AL Central, but I always thought Cleveland Indians had a really good shot.
And they still kind of are a sleeper team. Yeah. Everyone expects the Royals to still win that division, no matter what happens the rest of the year.
I've been with the Indians because you got Lindor, you got Kipnis, you got Brantley. They got a lot of good pieces there. And I really think that they have a good chance of making the playoff. They're leading right now, which makes me look smart. But who knows what can happen the rest of the year. I still really believe in them, though.
Yeah. They've got some good pieces, but like I said, I think that the Royals will still come back. I think that Indians will make a wild card spot.
Yeah. It's tough to pick sleepers at this point because
there's still so much of the season left,
and because there's so much left, but we're already so far into the season that
you're right.
You can tell which teams are bad and which ones have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
we already know who has a chance to make the playoffs and which teams got no chance. So it's hard to pick a sleeper. So Indians would have easily been my sleeper to begin the year because I mean, they got a good young core right now. They don't have half bad starting pitching. Danny
Mm-mm.
Salazar,
Yeah.
great job leading the staff this year.
I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to make a move maybe for Teheran.
That would be a good move in my opinion.
Yeah, that would be a really good move. Or even if the Marlins somehow put Jose Fernandez on the market.
I love Jose Fernandez.
I know, dude.
I have at the show franchise where he was MVP and NL Cy Young 2 years in a row, and it was amazing. Great for my team. But that's pretty well. Who are your sleepers?
I would say this is kind of a weird pick. I would say the Colorado Rockies are my sleeper.
Yeah,
I
that's a weird
don't know
pick.
if they'll make the playoffs,
Yeah,
but if you look at their offense, Arenado, Cardro, Trevor Story, uh, Charlie Blackmon. I'm forgetting about someone. Whatever. But when you look at their stats, they're fourth in runs scored, fifth in batting average, sixth in on base percentage, and second in slugging.
I mean you're right,
But there's a little
but
flip to that. Their
he-
starting pitching
ugh,
is abysmal.
yeah.
I'm just looking at their stats right now. 28th in ERA, 27th in opponent's batting average, 23rd in WHIP.
It's bad for the
They,
Rockies on the starting pitching side. But here's the thing: do you think they trade Cargo this year?
See, there have been rumors that Cargo is going to get traded for like the past 5 years.
Yeah.
You know,
Same with Tulo when it finally happened
you're right.
last year for
It
him.
did finally happen. But I don't know. I say you keep him. He's still a great player. You know, I guess it depends on what you can get for him.
It always depends on what you can get.
If you
Always
get,
does.
if you can maybe get some starting pitching out of it, like solid starting pitching out of it.
Yeah.
Or even prospects, like starting pitching prospects. Because I don't know what the Rockies farm system looks like, but
It's all right.
I don't think it's great.
Yeah. They got John Gray, but he's pretty much in the majors already.
Yeah,
so
John Gray, he is in the majors, so
Yeah.
and he's really the only bright spot in their pitching whatsoever. They've got a great offense. So Arenado is leading that team.
Yeah.
He's playing fantastic this year.
Yeah. Well, those are our sleeper picks, and that pretty much runs us out of our stories.
Yeah.
It brings us to a part of the show which we don't know where it's going yet. It's a broad idea where we get a little bit of time at the end of the show to just talk a little bit about what we want to talk about.
Whatever we want.
Go off on a subject. You just get time to yourself to just go off on that. And because we're 58 minutes in, this is the time where we're going to do that at the end of the show. So, Mitch,
Yes.
please tell us.
All right.
FaceTime is on you.
Harrison Barnes has been one of my favorite players out of UNC. He looked great in college, and he looked like he was going to be a really solid player in the NBA, and he has been. And then Game 5 of the NBA Finals came, where he shot something like 0 for 7, and after that he couldn't hit a 3-ball to save his life. So this is my obituary to Harrison Barnes's max contract with any team in the league. Have fun backing up KD in Golden State.
R.I.P. max contract for Harrison Barnes. Now it's my time to do mine FaceTime. This one is very close to my heart. This weekend, the Cubs got swept by the St. Louis Cardinals at Wrigley for the first time since 1988. And I've seen a lot of flack on Twitter by some of these Cubs fans overreacting, saying we need to get relief pitching and we need it now. And I think that is just silly to think at this point, because right now, I mean, the Cubs are 47-23. Any other team in the league would kill to be where the Cubs are right now. So to overreact and say to trade Kyle Schwarber, to trade Javier Baez, to trade Jorge Soler to the Yankees for Chapman and Miller, it's ridiculous at this point. I think Cubs fans just need to settle down a little bit, gather themselves, and get ready for a great weekend at Miami, because I have a feeling the Cubs are about to go off on another one of their win streaks.
All right.
That was it. How'd that feel, Mitch?
That felt great. 0-0-1.
episode 001. Thank you for joining us on this
Thank
journey.
you so much.
Whether you're watching or you're listening, hopefully we do more of these. Next week, we should come out with another one. But if you have any questions, another one. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, send those to Mitch at Mitch Stangl on Twitter. Send that to me at Yolson2016 on Twitter. Leave a comment on this video if you have that much of a concern. But just let us know if you have anything. If you just hate the way we look and the way we say things, let us know that too. If you hate Mitch's Tim Tebow jersey and the way it's making his mic sound at that moment, tell us about that too. But that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we will see you next week.